This review has been brought to you in part by Main Irish Airsoft and ASG. Hi, welcome back. It's Oddie's Airsoft and it's another review, and as I've been promising to get to, this is the ASG SLV40, which is a Schmeiser or MP40, and also I'm having a look at a friend of mine's SRC MP40, which, as I have already mentioned, I love the look of. Now, so where do we start? Well, do you know what? The SRC MP40, which we'll have a look at in a second, is completely high end of the World War II guns. It's the most expensive out the two MP40s, and you can tell look wise it's just sort of made a little bit stronger, a little bit better, a little bit more cleaner, a little bit closer to the original, whereas the more vanilla-ish ASG one is a very good replica, and to people who don't know much about World War II, it looks like an MP40, so they're not really going to see much of the difference. This one is literally half the price of the SRC, and the gas thing is it actually works better than the SRC. There's a number of niggles with the SRC that people are struggling to get around. That said, I'm still in love with it, and I think it is the nicest MP40 out there. But look, anyway, so what do we get for the ASG? As I said, it's half the price of the SRC one. ASG, as I said, have taken a lot of time and effort into getting the boxes right, and it has the all the logo, the pictures on the box. It also has in the background, which is rather kind of nice, is the German World War II soldier sort of shouldering an MP40. Anyway, look, it's only a box. It's going in the bin when you're finished with it. So inside, what strikes me as very impressive is what you get for your money. Now, get the usual ASG pamphlet on the product. Now, this is really kind of the old AGM MP40 just reboxed. You have the MP40. You get one high cap mag. Sorry about the speaking of the polystyrene, but you know what, hey, I can't help it. One MP40 high cap mag, you get one speed loader, you get some little BBs, you get a little sort of jobby to stop, it goes into your barrel to stop misfiring, I suppose, in the safety zone. You get a battery, which is a nickel metal hydride, and it's an 8.4, and you also get a battery charger. So for your money, considering, you know, it is one of the cheaper sort of budget guns. I mean, it's not completely budget, certainly the build quality isn't. You get a lot for your money. So anyway, look, forget about what's in the box, because they're all little additional extras, but let's have a look at it. Oh, and don't forget, you get the old cleaning rod. And did you hear? I said cleaning rod, not unjamming rod. Yes, it unjams BBs, but you know what? You can actually use it for cleaning your barrel too. And most airsofters don't bother. A bit of silicone oil on a bit of lint-free cloth, and every time you skirmish, you should be using the cleaning rod to clean your barrel. Anyway, so what do we have here? This is the MP40, and it is quite heavy. Full metal. It's not a blowback version like the SRC. Has the usual stock that folds out, which gives it the iconic look. And the mag is again very impressive, well made, not really any markings on it, and she just pops in like so. So yeah, I mean, it's an iconic gun, isn't it? It works on every level. So what do I think of her? Well, you know, after test firing it, she's lovely. She's really, really, really lovely. I have to say, very impressive. Now, you could age this because of the type of metal used. It will rub down with wool, and that's iron wool, or steel wool, not cotton wool. She'll rub down to make it a little bit more like the SRC, which I'm about to show you. Now, this is the SRC in all its glory, and this has been aged to look more like an original. And the SRC is slightly heavier. We'll have a look at the SRC in a second. So, out of the two, believe it or not, even though this is the lower end gun, this will feed flawlessly every BB no problems, no wobble on the mag, and it works. Out of the box, works, no problems. Did mention in a spotlight video when I was saying I was going to do this review that there is one thing I don't like about it. It's only the one, and that is, and I wish they hadn't done this, but they put on a selector switch. What's wrong with that, you say? The original guns had no single shot or full auto shot selector switch. It was single shot was one pull of the trigger, rapid fire was keep the finger down. And the SRC works exactly like that. The SRC is much more true to the original. Personally, I'd love to see ASG have a word with them and get rid of that and go to trigger control, because that's what this gun was all about. Get an awful lot of people saying that they don't like the stock on this because it wobbles a bit and it rattles. Do you know what? A lot of people who play with these guns don't play with the stocks out anyway. I certainly know my mate with the MP40 doesn't. But it's a singly impressive piece of kit. Now we will be showing you a chrono review and a test fire, a bit of test fire footage at Red Barn. But do you know what? It's lovely. I think she's really, really gorgeous. Now, a little heads up. When you are putting in the battery is real simple to get into. You pull down this knob and you take the front end off. And then you can connect your battery in there like so. Okay? When you're placing it back on, something you have to be very, very aware of. She slides on nice and simply. And you have to understand this isn't, you know, a gun that I've played around a lot with. But when you're sliding it back on, make sure you pull that back out and she locks in. And then just check it. My mate Paul, who owns this SRC, unpulled the bolt because the system of loading the battery is exactly the same. He unpulled the bolt, slid off the front, put in the battery and didn't click the bolt back in. Slung it over his shoulder, next of all the things on the floor, and he smashed the piston. Or the air nozzle, should I say. He smashed the air nozzle. So you've got to be aware of how your gun works. Read all the instructions first. The manuals are very clear and in-depth. And as I say, as an MP40, it's gorgeous. I love MP40s. There's no trades on this at all. There's a little bit of marking here. Lightly traded saying ASG Cal 0.6mm BB, but you know, it's not actually stamped at all with any German insignia. The other thing is the pistol grip and the part of the body here in the original versions was made of Bakelite, which was a kind of pre-production plastic that they came up with during the end of the First World War, beginning of the Second World War. They sort of nailed it and were able to get the guns a little bit lighter because of it. The Bakelite though was kind of a mucky brown colour. This is black. So do you know what? If you're being pedantic, yes, it's not really the colour it should be. But again, you know, this is airsoft. I'd rather have a gun that fires reliably than one that doesn't. Oh dear. Let's go to the SRC MP40. Now they have done this amazingly well. This is gorgeous. As you can see, it's full blowback. Oh my god. It is fabulous. Now I have to say Paul has done an amazing job in getting this to look like it's from the 1940s. He's scrubbed it down and he's really roughed it up and he's worn the metal down to give a silvery effect where the rub points would have been from slings and clothing rubbing off the gun itself. And as I say, he knew how to do this because he actually owns a deactivated MP40 from 1942, and that's how he was able to mimic it exactly for the rub points. But this gun has singly broken Paul's heart because of the feeding issues that the mags have. SRC, you need to sort your game out here because you have potentially the sexiest World War II gun ever, but your mags are crap. And this is one of the mags. And that's her locked in. Look at the wobble on that. And you know what? It falls back out again. It doesn't lock in properly. And when it does lock in, oh dear. No magazine like that will ever feed right. And that's true of them all. Chris in MIA also has an SRC MP40, and he's actually just ditched these mags altogether. He's using the AGM mid caps, which only take 50 BBs, and he's using one of these. Now, I actually said that this was a high cap for the ASG MP40. It's not, it's a mid, sorry, my mistake. But anyway, he has basically taken one of these mid caps and popped the insides, taken them out and turned them around, and then they fit the SRC perfectly. When you do that, they will then fire flawlessly. So you can kind of have a gun that works, but you know what? You're going to have to be very conservative with your ammo, because 50 rounds is going to fly. But you know what? If it's a milsim game, it's no problem, because let's face it, it adds another touch of realism. So going back to the SRC, what makes this really special? Well, everything. The build quality is absolutely outstanding. It's a slightly heavier gun, but it just feels like a real steel version. If you actually hold this one up to a real steel version, there's really very little in the difference, but everything about it is absolutely gorgeous. And as I said, that blowback, oh dear, I mean, I love it. That is gorgeous. So it's the small touches that make it all the difference. It has a little stamp here saying AYF41, and that's underneath the MP40 insignia. And that, apparently, if you Google that, it'll actually show you, it'll take you to the location of the factory where this was originally made in Germany in the World War II. So they've basically taken the lettering system and put it on it. As I say, it's the small touches that make this SRC just fabulous. They even have little eagle stamps here. Paul did tell me the name of them in German. It was like Waffendale, I think he said. But do you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I thought he said Waffendale's insignia, which would have been true to the originals. So all in all, SRC, you've got a bit of work to do on your mags, but if you solve that problem, you have singly the nicest MP40 in the world. Nothing would touch it. And I, for one, would go out and buy one tomorrow if the mag situation was better. But it's not, and until then, I ain't touching it. Or maybe I will, because it's just so sexy. This has been Oddie's Airsoft. You've been watching a very super sexy MP40 from ASG, along with a very super sexy kind of flaky SRC MP40. Both of them I love, both of them I would buy, and both of them I would use. I certainly would age this one down a little bit to make it a little bit more World War II looking, but again, my only recommendation to ASG is have a chat with their makers and get them to take out the selector switch from the fire selector. It's not needed, it's not warranted, and it's not true to the original Schmeiser or MP40. So this has been Oddie's Airsoft. I hope you've enjoyed the look at the two MP40s on the market that are worth looking at.